Hey, it's Raven Tactical. I'm going to bring up a concept here that maybe doesn't get talked too much about. So, if you were going to cause mass chaos, right, on a grand scale, if you were going to cause people to panic, if you were going to try to get people to move away from rural and move into cities, if you were going to get people to who aren't dependent on government, more dependent on government, what would you do? Well, I think you would instill fear, right? Fear to go out, fear to live in a rural country, right? So you look at the California fires right now, right? There's people who pay for power, and the power companies don't maintain the woods. They don't maintain the property that the power lines run through. They have a lot of scrub and underbrush that should be cut, should be cleaned up. You could probably honestly have woodsmen or whatever go through and just let them clean house, but they don't. They don't because of all the regulations and heavy government involvement in the environmental involvement with that too. But the reality is, there's a cycle of life to everything in the woods. So, I mean, there's a balance, right? As long as you maintain that balance, you should be fine, but we're not. So, what happens, right? These people on the East or West Coast, they're disconnecting the power on people. I mean, granted, they gave you a warning, but, for the average person to disconnect the power and tell you that you might be out of power for 2 weeks, what do? You don't necessarily have a generator forever. You necessarily gonna have to go to work still. So, I mean, you're giving a big opportunity to people to, one, steal because they know that, hey, John had a security system, but it's down now. They're not going to work. You are. So now you're screwed because now your security system's off. Now, let's say how many people do have medical conditions that require power. It's important for them to have that kind of advanced technology that they rely on. I mean, what are you going to do? You've paid for this service, you've paid for this thing, and they're pulling it, and they're shutting it off with the effort of possibly saving more fires. So they're basically controlling you and forcing you to move out of that location. Why? They don't want you in rural areas. The rural area, for the most part, is basically the people who, for the most part, don't rely on government. They rely on each other. They rely on neighbors. They rely on support within themselves. They're independent. I mean, these are the people that, if you were basically thinking of a big picture of control, these are the first people that you're going to want to make sure get round up. These are the people that resist. I mean, they moved out there, or we moved out to a rural area for a reason. We don't want to be bothered by people. We want less government. We want less involvement. And it seems like that's always being encroached upon. So how would you control it, right? So how would you control people? Well, if I were you, or if I were them, I would probably strongly suggest that you do create small fires, or you create big fires all over the place on the West Coast side. You use the distractions of trying to have an impeachment or this, or you use the whole ISIS thing, you get in a leader to spin good news and spin bad news and combat this. I mean, now you go into the media, so then you control the media and you tell them that we're not going to cover certain things. Here's what you are going to cover and here's what you're not going to cover. When this whole Trump thing with the ISIS and taking them out, I thought it's a good thing. I also think it wasn't like the biggest news, but I think it was a way to put a positive spin on for Trump and have a good week. But I said on the flip side of things, the Democrats or the people that oppose Trump aren't going to enjoy that. They're going to find a way to distract the public again, right? So what's the most distracting thing that the public gets up and roar? Well, when you have a mass shooting on the scale of Vegas, right? If you get another Vegas mass shooting kind of scale, which I don't think, in my opinion, Vegas was kind of the most mysteriously bizarre mass shooting of all time. If there's false flags, if there's ever a reason for a false flag, that was one of them. But anyways, if you go to that extent, right? Well, what's the next extent? To get people upset over the conservative side of the house, right? We'll have a mass shooting like that. Because really the narrative for pushing for gun control is on both sides. It's just one side refuses to admit to it. So if you do get another one, which is probably coming, because why not? What better way to make, the commander-in-chief look weak on gun rights and gun control than actually having another Vegas-style shooting where it's like, oh, this happened, right? Or even worse, what happens if you start getting people who operate in teams to go into malls? And I don't mean the lone wolf mass shooter. I mean, you get people who operate in a fire team setup or a tactical team, kind of like what Columbine was. It was a two-man team. You don't see that very often, but they were very effective. I mean, you have 2 people or 4 people. I mean, you could essentially lock down a mall, or you could lock down an area, and you could have a massive shooting, and it would be scary for most people. And what it would do, it creates chaos. And I mean, the divide increases. The divide's on this teetering point where 70 to 80% of people think Civil War is coming. Civil War II is coming, a mass chaos, right? So you have to think about that, right? I look at it from a perspective of, you got to create so much fear, so much panic, so much pain that people aren't going to even go outside anymore. You get to the point where going outside is dangerous. Going to a public place can be dangerous. So you have people shoot up a mall, a school, a zoo, places where there's mass people. Nothing's safe anymore. You set fires everywhere so that your wildfires are raging out of control, and you basically deplete the resources of the fire departments, the police departments. You create mass panic so that there's riots and chaos, and then they have to pull the military in for National Guard and all this. You create such a stir that all over that people are going to beg for safety and protection from you. They're going to beg that you just take control and give it up. And that's at the point where I think the Civil War would go. Is for the majority of people, they would beg for the government to fix this. They would beg for someone to solve the issue by taking total control of everything and every aspect of your life. And people would hand it over immediately. Why? Because they know what'll happen. They'll look at Venezuela and go, whoa, I want to be able to eat. I want to be able to have my family safe, right? They'll trade every freedom they have, which is very little what we have now, and they'll trade everything that's remaining for safety, the idea of safety at least. So, I think we have to look at it from that perspective of things. So, I'm going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. It's kind of a little bit of a ramble. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. There's an all feature that'll let you know every time I post something. Make sure you hit it. Thank you.